Hey, there you are. Okay, let me pause this. I gotta see how to do. Okay, so I cannot see your chat in OBS. Oh, okay, cool. Let's talk in Discord. I'd rather much talk in Discord. Perfect, man. Maybe you can clear my head about some of this shit. Hello? Hello, hello. Mic check.
Hey, okay.
Okay, I hear you. Yeah, see, I'm like, okay. Before Trump, I think I was pretty hardcore Republican. Even coming
Yeah.
from California, I think I was pretty hardcore Republican. Trump came in and just totally twisted my fucking thoughts on the whole Republican Party. Um, just totally fucked my thoughts on the. But I've never really, ever really leaned towards Democrat. I've always been per se a Republican. Okay. Well, I don't
Yeah.
even know about that because I liked Clinton. What was Clinton? A Democrat?
Democrat, yeah.
Yeah. See, I liked Clinton. I really, really, really liked Clinton. I think the only thing he did wrong was he got a blowjob behind a desk by Monica Lewinsky. I think that
Yeah.
was his only fault. I really liked him. Um, I didn't really pay like, and then I didn't really pay a lot of attention to politics. Um, and I think the reason was when I was 18, I shot 3 people. Okay, I shot 1 in the jaw and 2 in the leg over gang shit. So up until about 5 years ago, I was never able to vote because I had a felony, a serious felony. And I've since then I've gotten my felonies expunged, so I have a clean fucking record after 25 years. Even the judge was like, "Mr. Rubik, so after 25 years, are you doing this?" And I was like, "Because I'm tired of the dark cloud looming over my head, bro. You know, I just want to be normal. I just want to be normal." And so now I'm normal. Now I'm a citizen. I'm no longer an ex-convict. So I
Yeah.
really never paid attention to politics. Um, because I couldn't vote. So therefore, a lot of the shit didn't affect me as being a convict. But what's going on over there in my home country is really putting a bad taste in my mouth. And I need to watch more news channels. But all I'm seeing is Bidenist. It took like today. I woke up to this. This is what I woke up to. It took Biden 5 days to reply, and I'm like, 5 days? What are you talking about? Like what the fuck? 5 days? You're the president. Why it takes you 5 days?
To do what? Respond to what?
To what's going on over there?
Oh no, he's been updating. Like if you follow him on Twitter, he's been actually putting out videos daily, at least twice a day since it started. The
Uh-huh.
problem is in that, and one thing you want to be careful of is that depending on what media source you watch, it's going to be
Whatever is
skewed.
on, I'll tell you what I watch because I follow. It's weird. From being in the penitentiary, I cannot sleep in the dark. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to sleep with the TV on. So for the last 20, 30 years, I've always slept with the TV on. And the TV station that I go to sleep is uh what show, I don't know if you watch a lot of TV, but what show do they show Forensic Files on? What channel is that?
Forensic Files. Hold on. It's NBC.
No, it's a cable channel.
Hold
It's
on.
Forensic
Let me
Files.
see.
Every single night they play it until 4 in the morning. And that's
What?
what I fall
Hold on.
asleep to. So that's the channel. And then if from 5 o'clock on, if normally it wakes me up and I turn it on Good Times, and I'm sure you remember that show, Good Times with
Yeah.
JJ, or I turn it on Facts of Life, depending on if it wakes me up. But if I don't, then I'm waking up to the fucking news and it's in my ear, and that's what I wake up to. So I wake up, I listen to the news for a while, and that's the only news station I listen to because I don't do the news. I do not do the news.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm hearing every single fucking morning. That is what I'm hearing. And I don't
Yeah,
know if it's a well, it can't be a Trump channel because he's not president. So it's just a news channel.
Yeah, I would say this. So just to make it easier, because knowing that, the home country thing and being upset, like you were going to be upset no matter how we did it, to be honest with
Right.
you. And the reason being is that I think, even when Russia occupied Afghanistan for a while and had their war there, every country that's gone there has not realized that Afghanistan is not like your normal country and that you have one centralized government. They never have been. Afghanistan has always been a country of tribes. So you have,
Right, exactly.
even the Taliban has different sects within the Taliban that are like garnering for power. So what you're seeing right now, and because I watch a lot of different news channels, I don't just watch one that's sided to one view. I watch them all
Right.
because I
And
think
that's
it's
how you should
important
be. If you're going to watch it, you need to watch both sides. Right.
to get a good perspective.
Right.
And then going from personal experience, I know to wade through the bullshit. So leaving hold on one second.
Go ahead.
Leaving like personal, this is not a Trump or a Biden thing. So us being in Afghanistan started off, and if you look at some of the documentaries and some of the things that happened, what ended up happening was that we invaded Afghanistan initially for the purpose of looking for Osama bin
Osama
Laden.
bin Laden, because we didn't go to Afghanistan until 9/11.
Correct, and we
Right,
had
I see. I know a little
interest
bit.
in fucking with the Taliban. So when we say Taliban are terrorists, they didn't actually become terrorists until we categorized them that way when we started fighting them in their own country. So think of it this way. Think of another country coming to this country and then just saying, "Hey, we're looking for somebody. We're just going to start dropping troops and setting up bases and start fucking killing people to look for this guy." And you're just gonna have to deal with it. As a force, we would fight back, right? We'd be like, "Hey, fuck that shit. You're not going to come into my country and start taking
So
my
who
shit."
did that?
The Taliban. They were like, "No, you're not going to come in here because
No,
the
who
Taliban
came into Afghanistan doing that?
We did. Americans
Oh.
went into
I
Afghanistan
thought we
and
were
started
asked to.
No, we invaded. We invaded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we didn't ask anybody. We said we're coming in. You don't got to fucking say in it. And so we started fucking invading. And so what ended up happening was we realized that of course, Osama bin Laden's not going to stick around. He was like, "Fuck this, I'm out," and so he left. Right? He left to Pakistan.
Right.
And so we're sitting there, and once we got into Afghanistan, we got pulled into this quagmire of just fighting whatever, right? So then you got to realize that the reason why we continued to be in Afghanistan has nothing to do with the people of Afghanistan. The reason why we went in there is for two reasons. One, it funds our military programs, okay? Republicans are really big on funding the military because it makes everybody money. A lot of these politicians, including Democrats, it's not just Republicans, but politicians in general, are all paid by somebody. Okay,
Right.
The people who represent us don't represent us anymore. They only represent the people that give them the most money. Unfortunately, that's how our government is ran, and I consider it corrupt.
Right.
But
I agree.
it is what it is. So what you're seeing now today is that we stayed in there longer than we need to. So if you want to blame what's going on in Afghanistan, the first blame goes to Bush. We should have never fucking went in there in the first place. But whatever, we did. The second blame, you got to blame Obama, because Obama said he was going to get out and he didn't. Okay? So
I didn't hear anything about that. Okay.
Yeah, so he said he was going to pull out of, and I love Obama. Don't get me wrong. I thought he was a great president, but he fucked up too. He should have pulled out when he said he was going to, but he didn't. The problem is that we tried to set up a government in Afghanistan similar to ours. But when you set up a government that's similar to ours, you're going to set up a corrupt government that's based on money. Okay? So long term, we started implementing and putting things in place to try the nation build in an area that doesn't believe the same things we believe. Okay? And so we're shelling out all this money for these people, right? And setting up their government. All the meanwhile, they're just corrupt. There's corruption everywhere. The fucking Afghan government that was in place that we helped set up was funneling money out. The president there was taking money. As a matter of fact, he ran off with a ton of money when he just gave up the country and left.
Right.
If it doesn't shock you how quickly the Taliban took over, the reason for that is because Trump did a negotiation with the Taliban, which he promoted. He said, even on the news, they told it, it's like, oh, he made peace with the Taliban. He's a great negotiator. He's the greatest thing on the planet. they bragged about it that he made this great deal with the Taliban to
Who's
stop.
bragging about what? Say that again. Start what?
So Trump, during his presidency, made this great deal with the Taliban, and he started bragging about how he made this deal with them. They're not going to attack Americans anymore. They plan to.
Right.
He made this big deal. Well, part of the deal was this.
I didn't hear. Part of the deal was this. Is all I heard.
Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta do something for work. Give me
Okay,
about.
go ahead. Go ahead. What did he say? All right. So let me type in. Find that. Okay, it does. It just takes a little longer. Wait, these on Facebook, I believe. Yeah, because the Doc's on that. These on Facebook. I don't think. Oh, my eye isn't working on Twitch. I gotta reset that up. No fucking way, dude. There was no fucking way, bro.
All right, brother, you there?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I had to go over performance review and race stuff and all that good stuff. So left off where we were talking about
the different news channels.
Yeah. So you're gonna see news channels that are gonna say, Biden fucked this up. It's all his fault. He left shit there. I even saw something that said, they left service dogs there, which didn't happen. No, the thing is that they're like, oh, we left just planes and shit for the Taliban. No, we didn't. Taliban, that equipment was sold and given to the Afghan government to defend their country. What they did was they all just left and quit. And the reason being is that they all made deals, including the generals, some of the generals of the Afghan army made deals with the Taliban to basically quit, get amnesty, and just go on their merry way. Which is why there wasn't a shot fired in Afghanistan. If you notice, they were like, I don't understand how this happened so fast. Right. It's because it was negotiated that the Taliban would take over once America left. That's why it happened so quickly.
Oh, well, who negotiated that? The
Trump negotiated. Yeah, Trump negotiated that.
Oh, okay. So Trump negotiated as soon as the troops come out of Afghan, then you guys can take over.
Yep. And that's the reason why Trump freed 5,000 troops from Afghanistan prisons as part of the deal.
Wow.
Yeah, so Biden right now he's got to take the hit. He's even said that I take responsibility for what's going on right now because I have to get these people out. That's what was negotiated. I'm getting the fuck out of there. Because here's the other thing. If we didn't honor the deal, the Taliban was going to ramp up their attacks and shit again. And let me tell you something. It's not like we were winning that fucking war. It was a constant. The thing is you're not going to be able to win in a country where you can't really identify the enemy. Everybody looks exactly the same.
Right.
And so we're fighting a war and we're wasting all this money and military men are dying. So your original question was, I don't know how you feel about all that shit fighting for and that we're just giving it up.
Right. Like I'm watching a lot of and when I say a lot, that's not exact. I'm watching a lot of pissed off military.
There's on both sides, okay? There's one side of the token of military personnel that said it was bullshit that we were in there to begin with and people died for no reason, right?
Right.
And then there's other people that are like, look, man, we feel for the Afghan people that we helped. We have a lot of Afghan people that we worked with very closely. We just want to make sure they're okay. Like, right. You know what I'm saying? And so Biden did. He pulled out almost 100,000 people from Afghanistan in a short amount of time to get them over here. And to get them out,
to bring them home, or just to get out of Afghanistan.
So it was a combination. We're not the only country taking some of the Afghan people that helped because there's some interpreters and shit that helped Britain, that helped Germany, that helped some of the other coalition people. Everybody thinks that America was the only one in there. It was a united effort from all countries, from the United Nations that were in there. There were some Canadians in there. There were some Australians in there, and so. Some of these countries are taking some of the people also. It's not solely America's responsibility to do everything as much as everybody in the world thinks it is. And so America orchestrated, I think, over 100,000 plus people, combination of Afghanistan people and United States citizens out of Afghanistan in that short amount of time. And Biden even committed, we're still going to take more people out. We just didn't want a military presence there. We're going to work with the Taliban to get the rest of them out. And then, we'll continue doing it. We're not going to stop just because,
So what do you think is going to happen in Afghanistan? Because right now, from what I'm hearing, it's just rumbles. Like, whole Afghanistan is just in ramble. Like, it's just fucked.
It is. And the reason being is that it was... So... What do I think about what's going on there? I think it's a two-part. One, we kind of did a disservice to the Afghan people because even if they've interviewed a ton of Afghanistan people there and they were like, look, I'm mad at the United States, but I'm not mad at them because they were leaving. We don't want them to hold our hands forever. Like, we don't want them here forever. But we're kind of upset the fact that how it was kind of planned out and played like that. How they just up and left. And to an extent, I'm like, okay, I can see that point of view. Because I would be upset if someone just up and left my ass and left me there.
Right,
you
but
know?
the president just up and left, and you've really got no choice but to follow suit and up and leave.
He had no choice. He had to get out of there by a certain date, or the Taliban was going to start fucking attacking and wrecking shit. And so, peace, right? You have to look at two evils. In order to keep the peace and not have more people die, including Afghanistan people, you have to do what you honor to do. Now, it was in hope that we can. Now, what Biden's anticipating or trying to do is that the Taliban, the reason why you're seeing them be so chill right now is because they need legitimacy from the world. They have no money in that country. They have nothing set up. They're going to need countries to help the Taliban get shit in order, right?
Right.
So, yeah, it's a clusterfuck right now because the Taliban is not organized in a way for a centralized government. But then again, Afghanistan was always a country of multiple different tribes. So they're going to have to figure it the fuck out. But they're going to have to figure it out. The Afghan people have to figure it out for themselves and decide what they want to do. There is a small little little holdout of the original Afghanistan government, like military. They got a bunch of weapons and they said they're not giving up to the Taliban. So you have that little thing going on. You have some protests from the Afghan women against the Taliban saying, we don't trust that you're going to fucking do what you do. The Taliban, for the most part, had been trying to honor some of the things they're doing. You know, they're telling the government they can go back to work. They're not killing them. But there's a lot that we don't see because we're not there every day. But at the end of the day, America's got to deal with them just like we deal with China. I mean, China's over there mass killing off, you know, and subjugating an entire sect of people in their country. And we're doing the best with them. Yeah, the Usurgs or whatever.
We can't fuck with China, though, from what I hear.
We're not going to fuck with.
What I'm understanding is like Biden can't ask China for shit right now or demand because we're so in debt.
Not really. We still have sanctions against China, which they're trying to get lifted. But the fact is that China is in a position now where they have some weight.
Right.
They have some weight to throw around, and not military. Like, we're not talking about fighting. We're talking about money. And here's the thing: the problem that you're seeing in America is the problem you're going to see whether it's a Republican or a Democrat in office. Money talks.
Oh, yeah.
Money rules this country, and the easiest way that these countries are fucking with America right now is two-pronged. One, they're getting everybody in America to be divided, because if America's divided, then they're not targeted on one single issue around the world. And so that benefits Russia and China, because then they can do whatever the fuck they want, and we're not responding to them. But that's an issue with us as American people. You know, you got some crazy fucking conspiracy shit out there, and you just have to step back and see what the logical, you know, response is. But the second thing is that you fuck with the money. That's it. You want to get change in this country? Fuck with the money.
Right.
You fuck with their money.
And aren't we like so in debt to them? Like, it's ridiculous.
Not necessarily. I mean, we're not in any more of a debt to them than you know, some other countries are in debt to us. So it's like moving money, right? Like, so you have money coming in, but you got a credit card and you use one credit card to pay off a bill, but then you use your cash to pay off the credit card.
Right.
It's the same shit, man.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's not really.
So do you think
crazy.
Afghanistan will ever be the same now that this has happened, or do you think they're just like that country's just done, like seriously fucking done?
No, I don't think it's done. I think the Taliban genuinely wants to be a thing in the world stage. So I think there's a little bit of pressure that other countries can do to kind of get them to be a thing. The problem is that the Taliban have always been a thing in that country, okay?
Right.
And so you have to understand the politics and the situations going on in that country. Like, we from the outside think it's fucking crazy, but to them, it's surviving, right?
Okay.
And so if the Afghan people want change and certain things going on, then they need to fight for it. But as you saw when we left, the Afghan people didn't even fight for it.
No,
they just
nothing. They gave it up. They gave it up.
So, exactly. So why are we as a country going to sit there and die if they're not willing to die?
Right. I see what you're saying. It's a two-sided coin. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Military standpoint, I'm kind of, I mean, I'm kind of said, yeah, you never want your work to have been in vain, but then there are some things we did do and we did accomplish and we were able to get done that I think long term will stick. But I mean,
Like
if
what?
you
Like
this
what?
way,
Like what?
here's a perfect example. We did, you know, as much as you want to say we didn't win something, we did push the Taliban back and we did get them to step up and realize that, hey, we're not someone to fuck with. We can and will.
Yes, we did do that. Yes.
And so it got them to change. They are now trying to be a
But I heard the Taliban threatened, this came from the news, that the Taliban or whoever the fuck's over there doing all this stuff in Afghanistan is threatened that they're going to bomb, like they're going to war with the United, not saying they're going to bomb the United States of America. I mean, because we have plenty, you can bomb anywhere and still have the same outcome where we're at. But I heard that they were going to start declaring war on us just the same.
Yeah. No, they've committed that they are not going to target or do anything against the United States. They've also committed to helping the United States continue to fight terrorism. Because you understand this, like if you didn't know this, ISIS and the Taliban are like mortal enemies. They're like it's fucking crazy. It's like Batman and the Joker. They'll never fucking be cool with each other. Right. And so ISIS now is in there trying to cause shit for the Taliban. So the most recent.
See, I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
The most recent bombing
so
that
you
happened.
Got ISIS and the Taliban over there fighting each other.
Correct. Yep.
Wow.
And the Americans
are they fighting to take over Afghanistan, or are they just fight? What are they doing?
Yeah, ISIS wants to eradicate the Taliban.
Okay. Okay.
And so you have the Americans and the Taliban working together to fight ISIS. Wow. So it's now become like the enemy of my enemy is my friend shit.
Right.
And I don't know if you know the long history that Taliban has had with Americans. We actually supported them.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, when the Russians were in Afghanistan, we supported them with money and weapons, and we trained them. We also supported them. Yeah, we've been big Taliban supporters. And a matter of fact, if you notice lately, a lot of these so-called Republicans, which I call crazy ass fucks in Congress, the ones that support Trump, are loving the Taliban. They're like, oh, the Taliban's great. You know, they know how to handle business, and you know, they did all the shit. So it's a weird message. You gotta like swim through the bullshit and just look at what's actually going on, and look at for what it is. Look at why was that country taken over so quickly with no one fighting? It's because shit was going on in the background. People were fucking making deals, and this is what you're seeing is just the deals are played out. That's it.
Right.
So you can't blame Biden for this. Did he have done it a bit better? Yeah, he probably could have. But I mean, what? Hindsight's 2020, right? We can sit back and analyze this and say, "Oh, well, I would
could have right.
Could have done that." Yeah, but you can say that all day after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
The fact is now, though, we're out. We've concluded the war. We've gotten everybody out. You know, we've gotten a ton of fucking Afghanistan people out. We got a ton of shit out. And now the Afghanistan people now that the dust settled, they need to fucking figure out what they want to do moving forward. But they are the only ones that can do that. We need to step back and stop getting involved in people's bullshit. Like, it's not our job. And this is where I kind of side with some of the Republican, like some of the theories of America First type shit. I'm all, from someone who's in the military, I am all about defending America.
Right.
I'm not about going into a country and getting involved in shit that has nothing to do with us just so we can die. Period. That's my stance, always has been.
Right. I believe in helping your own before you can help anybody else.
Yeah.
That's
and
my
if you're
belief.
asked for it, let's say we had a government, right? Like England. Let's say England was having this big, like, people invading their country, and they were like, hey, America, can you help us stop this invasion? Yeah, that's our buddy. We'll go hook them up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's say England right now is having some political turmoil where they're trying to figure out, you know, which side's better, and they're having this, like the Brexit thing. Are we going to now invade their country because we don't like their stance on Brexit?
I know, yeah.
This is stupid, right?
Right.
But that's what we did to Afghanistan. We went in there to fucking go after one guy instead of just trying to work with the Taliban to find the guy. We started fucking up the Taliban, like for no reason. They didn't bomb us. It was Osama bin Laden.
Right. Right.
So if you look through the bullshit, I mean, I'm glad we're out. You know, at the end of the day, I'm glad we're out. I'm glad we can start focusing on
I'm
other
glad
things.
we're out. It's just sad to see what's going on in Afghanistan. I'm totally
It was gonna
glad that our
happen
troops are gone.
regardless. It was
But
gonna
I
happen
just don't
no-
know if what we did 20 years ago, like we started the conversation, like, was it did it mean nothing
wasn't worth it.
now?
For the most part. Well, not really. We got the Taliban to stop being so brutal to the Afghan people initially. Hopefully, we do see a change in them and they're able to be something better for Afghanistan. I mean, they do defend it very heartedly. I mean, the only problem that we're going to have with them is their religious beliefs.
Right.
But, I mean, that's with anybody, right? I mean,
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
believe strongly, and the way they govern their people is based on their religious beliefs. And
Right.
you're not going to ever be able to fight that, dude. Like, there's no amount of fucking convincing that you're going to tell someone who truly believes in their religion that they need to do something different. You're just
Right,
not gonna
right,
convince
right.
them.
Religion, right.
And what we can do is we got money, and they need money. So if
Yeah.
they want the money, they're going to have to do certain things to get that money.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's it, man. Like, if you leave politics out of it and just look at it, I think Afghanistan can do better if they want it, but they have to want it.
They have to want
Yeah.
it, bro. They have to want it. You know, I just don't see what they're doing over there right now, what people would want. You know, it's got to get better. It's got to get better.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
because me and my mom were talking about, like, in 5 years, before all this happened, we were talking about going out there in 5 years, you know, and meeting, you know, family that we've never got to see before because they live over there. And me and mom, since this has happened, me and my mom are both like, no, that's probably not going to be happening right now.
Yeah, I mean, not in the interim. You want to kind of wait for a while before.
Yeah, we're going to
shit
wait for a
goes
long
out, but-
while.
Yeah. Also, the other minor side note about the taxing the rich. I agree with you. I don't think the rich should be taxed any more than us.
I don't. And that, yeah, I agree.
But even a flat tax, I believe everybody should pay like what 5% and be done with it.
I agree. I think that's where it should stick, no matter what your income is. I think that's.
I think it's fair.
And that was
but
a big reason why my father-in-law was so anti-Biden, because my father-in-law, like, went to college and lived in his mother's basement, him and my mother-in-law, and then he worked as a bank clerk, and worked his ass all the way up to the COO of the IT department, and became very, very wealthy and retired. And now that it seems that because he makes more money, that he's going to get penalized more, because he makes more money than a medium what do you call it, an average household would make, you know.
Yeah.
So they're going to punish him by taxing him more because he makes more, which isn't fair. And that, to me, that's just not fair.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
let
and
me.
I'm not in that bracket. That's not my tax bracket. So,
Yeah.
you know, but I still care, because that's still my father-in-law, and it's still not right, no matter if it qualifies me or not. It's still,
Yeah.
it's not right.
Well, I got some good news for you. I'll clear up what actually is happening, just so you understand, because I've actually looked at what was proposed on the actual tax bills. They're not wanting to increase taxes on the rich. What they're trying to do right now is increase paying IRS to go after people who are rich who don't pay taxes at all. They're saying that what Biden wants to do is get the rich to pay the taxes that they actually owe. Right now, you have a lot of people who make a lot of money who pay zero taxes. So I don't know about you, but I pay taxes every year, and I don't think it's fair that if you make a shit ton of money, you should pay $0 in taxes. Can I pay $0 in taxes?
Right. I believe everybody should pay taxes.
So what they want to do is give money to the IRS and kind of beef it up with people who can actually audit the rich, just to make sure they're paying their taxes. They're saying they're estimating that there's about 1 point something trillion dollars that could be made if people just paid their taxes. So they're not wanting to increase taxes. So if you're like you're
They just want people to pay their taxes.
yes, that's it. So if your father-in-law pays his taxes every
Yeah,
year,
he pays everything.
then he's fine. He won't even be
Yeah.
touched.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
That's
that
it.
makes
That's the other
sense. I mean,
proposal.
I think everybody should pay their fucking taxes. If me making what I make, if I've got to pay taxes, then I'll be damned if some millionaire doesn't have to pay his fucking taxes. And that's one of the things I disagreed with about dumbass Trump, because he did. I mean, when they were doing the debate, and the only reason I know this is because of the debate, they were talking about like he hasn't paid taxes in such and such time, and I'm like, no, that's kind of garbage. You know, like that's complete garbage. You should be fucking audited and ordered to pay your fucking taxes.
Exactly. And so the problem is that there's a lot of loopholes that us peons don't know about, that they're able to do things to kind of tweak the system in a way that show losses so that they don't have to pay a full amount of tax bills. So that's what Trump is doing. He's saying that, oh, I lost like, X amount of dollars in my businesses paying for X, and so that's the reason why I don't have to pay fucking certain amount of taxes.
That's bullshit. You still, if you got the income, you've got to pay the taxes.
That's what I'm saying.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair. That no
Exactly.
matter Democrat or Republican, you have to play fair.
Exactly. Or let me pay zero taxes. I'm okay with you.
Right, or everybody pay, but then the world wouldn't go around.
Exactly.
You know, then we got no interstates and we got no school fundings and we don't have this.
Exactly. And so the big debate now is the reason why we're not able to fund some of this stuff is because some people aren't paying their fair share. And so that's what they're saying. But of course, the other side is twisting it like he's going to raise your taxes. He's fucking with you. Less government. But the reason why they're saying that is because all of these people are not paying fucking taxes. And so they don't want.
But see, how do people get like, dude, me and Nicole, like, we are so scared of the IRS, bro. Like, we are terrified of the IRS.
I'll be right back. Sorry, I have to go pick up my dog.
Go ahead.
remain. Plenty of targets.
Moving. Moving.
Got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated. Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
I seen that.
Get yourself a proper warm-up. We'll be deploying soon. All right, that's enough mucking about. Now we do this for real. Battle Royale. You've got gas closing in fast. Get to the safe zone. Check your gear and weapons. Planes are making ready for deployment. we do this for real.
Hello, hello. Anybody here?